Hey guys, how's it going? Shimbob here, and today we're back with another Frontier Defense map guide for you guys, and I'm going to be going over Black Water Canal today. And I've got to tell you guys, this is probably my #1 map for Frontier Defense, simply because it is really tight quarters, and I really enjoy that. The Titans I play sort of lend themselves to those real bottlenecks and tight quarters like Scorch and stuff like that, so I feel comfortable in close quarters like that. I don't know about everyone, but that's my preference. It also would just be a general overall easy map. I think everyone would probably agree with that statement, and the close quarter nature of the map really lends itself to most of the Titans playstyles, to be honest. So let's jump straight into it, and I'll just go over the main spawning locations for enemies, and then also the main bottlenecks for slaughtering these guys. So the main spawn locations for Titans and Reapers and stuff is here, here, and here. And then the main bottlenecks that you'll be sort of funneling these guys into, and they'll be coming through where you can really choke them up, is here, here, and here. So naturally this leads to where you will be putting your arc traps, and like the same with forward base Kodai, you want to be putting your arc traps up near where they're spawning to stop their initial push, but then now that we've got these really nice, really tight bottlenecks, you want to be putting them in there as well as sort of like a secondary defense. And we'll sort of see in a minute when I talk about the Titans and how we're going to use them. If you put the arc traps in these bottlenecks, and it'll sort of stall the ones at the front, and then the other ones at the back will keep pushing forward. They'll stack on each other, and it really lends itself to some nice high damage scenarios for some of the Titans. So if you do find yourself with some cash early on in the game too, I would still recommend getting at least 1 turret per person in this game mode. Not as crucial to get 2 per person as it is in most other maps. Arc traps can be used instead on this map, but for turret locations you want to be putting them sort of like an Overwatch for where their spawning locations are. This spawn over here is very popular early on in the game, and a lot of sort of lesser sort of ads, I guess, spawn here, like grunts and things like that, so the turrets can be really effective in killing those ones. So for me, this is where I usually try and stack my turrets, is just getting an overview of this area and getting a few cheap kills. It's not the best turret map, and you don't get a lot of kills generally. I mean, someone will probably tell me that they got like 60 kills with a turret and just disprove all these theories, but this is what I've seen so far and is what has worked for me. Now, just before I get into sort of the Titans to use preferably on this map and specifics on that, I just want to also mention that apart from putting turrets up on this bridge, I wouldn't recommend going up there with a Titan. You can get a nice overview of the field and put some damage on the guys in this choke point here, but if they get through and underneath you or start attacking from other areas, then you sort of take yourself out of the game for a short amount of time, and you really only have line of sight on the ones spawning down here on this right hand spawn. So I mean, it's your preference, but it does take you out of the game at times, and if someone starts spawning over the back, then it can take a little while to get over there with most of the Titans, because unless you're North Star, you can't just jump straight off this bridge. So try and avoid that and just stay on the ground level and use that bottleneck to your advantage. So obviously when you think Blackwater Canal, you can't go past Scorch. For Frontier Defense at least, not so much for regular multiplayer, but Frontier Defense, this guy not only owns at this game mode, but on this map, he's like the god. So you wouldn't be blamed for running like at least 2 Scorches on this map if you want. Like if someone else has picked Scorch and you're playing with randoms, don't be afraid to pick Scorch as well, because you can never have too many Scorches on this map. He locks down these bottlenecks and can do insane amounts of damage, especially when you get a few of his upgrades going. He can just absolutely destroy mobs and hold down a whole lane himself. So really recommend. #1 pick for me is Scorch on this map. Next up, my second pick is Legion. It's sort of for the same reasons that I like Scorch, is the fact that he can just lock down a lane by himself if need be, and just put copious amounts of damage through Titans that are stacked up in bottlenecks. He can't necessarily cover as much area as Scorch can with that AoE damage, which is really nice in this map, but he does have the power shot, which can shoot through enemies, as well as the railgun going through enemies, which can chain very nicely when people start standing behind each other. You can do some serious damage and just tear through Titans. Another top tier pick that I like on this map as well, just after these two guys, is Monarch actually. While he wasn't the best on forward base Kodai, he's very strong on this map with the tight corridors and things where once you've got the smoke upgrades, and if you're running Maelstrom with some arc traps, enemies get stacked up and you drop some smoke in and around them under that bridge or something, and it's the only way they can come. They've got to walk through it. they would take so much damage, and it's so good to just drop some smoke there, and you'll see so many of the nuke titans just start going up when they try and get through that area, and you can almost drop the smoke and not even have to worry about them too much if you've got Maelstrom. On top of that, the amount of damage that he can put out with the XO16 gun is just fantastic. And of course, he's got great sustain, allowing him to stay alive a lot longer with picking up batteries and stuff. Really solid pick on this map. So they're my top 3 main picks that I really recommend for this map. The rest is sort of up to you and your personal preference. I'm sure some of you absolutely tear it up on this map with your favorite Titan that I haven't mentioned already. I know I do. I play North Star on this map all the time. I love North Star, but looking at it a bit more objectively, I would probably leave her off this list. I would possibly almost put Ronin on there, but I haven't played enough of Ronin in Frontier Defense to comment properly. But given the close quarter nature of this map, he could be quite viable. And then guys, the overall game plan on this map is to just funnel them into these main bottlenecks, which they'll kind of do naturally. Drop arc traps leading into there to slow everyone down and just drop the heat on them once they're in there. Get everyone piled up, stack, drop smoke, Legion, chain gun, scorch, fire, light everything up, and just you'll tear through things. It's probably why this is one of the easier maps, I would say, and definitely one of the funnest. So guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up. It's really appreciated. I'm really enjoying doing these map guides for you guys. Leave your comments down below, any tips or tricks that I might have missed or things you don't agree with, so other people can come here and use this as a reference guide. Go ahead and subscribe for more content like this, and until next time, just keep doing what you're doing, guys. Cheers.